Hi, my name is Justin Lin, and today I'm going to talk about my place in Canadian history. The events that I'm going to talk about are my parents' immigration, the federal election of 2019, the RBC Canadian Open of 2019, the COVID pandemic of 2020, and the Rappers Championship of 2019. My first event was my parents' immigration. In 2001, my dad came over from Guangzhou to Toronto Pearson Airport in April. He was a journalist who could not publish anything negative about China due to the CCP's influence. He decided to leave China to make a new life in Canada. Settling down was hard for my dad as he cannot speak English. He eventually found a job in landscaping and would soon go on to owning his own business. My mom would follow suit in 2004 to join my dad. She obtained her degree at Seneca College, but due to growing business, she started to work as a secretary for my dad. People may be persecuted due to their political opinions and thus may flee to find safety from conflict. Otherwise, they might seek immigration to find better job opportunities. In my dad and mom's case, it was a mix of both. This topic connects to the HCC ethical dimensions of history. This explains the atrocious ethics of China and the CPP back then by having an iron grip on most of its news outlets and its population with policies such as the one-child policy. My second event was the federal election of 2019. My parents voted for the Conservatives in 2019. They did not like Trudeau and his party's policies, especially after Trudeau legalized marijuana. Because of this, my mom decided to vote against the Liberals while my dad took a backseat in politics since he's not political like my mom. Justin Trudeau and his Liberals narrowly won the elections but lost their popularity low. His party lost 20 seats, losing the majority, instead only forming a minority government with 157 seats. The Conservatives' votes were heavily concentrated in Saskatchewan and Alberta. The Liberals were heavily reliant for seats in Ontario, the populous province that includes Toronto and several other cities. This event connects to the HCC continuity and change. Trudeau's Liberals continue to run the governments, but the Conservatives and other parties have more power. The Liberals thus do not have power over the other parties. In the 2019 Canadian Open, an international competition held in Canada, me, my brother, my dad, and his friends went to watch the tournament live. We witnessed Rory McIlroy's legendary win. He played an amazing game, down 22 strokes from even, and clinching the last round with a score of 61, for a total score of 258 strokes, combining 4 rounds. This was important because this got me and my family into golf. I play golf competitively now, and my dad plays golf with his friends a lot. It allowed my family to bond more closely over our shared passion in golf. In this picture, I am playing on a golf course with my dad. McIlroy's 22 under par, 258, is the lowest 17-hole score ever recorded at the RBC Canadian Open. The previous record of 263 was held by Johnny Palmer in 1952, Scott Piercy in 2012, and Tim Clark in 2014. His final round, 61, is also the best final round in the 110-year-old event, breaking the record of 62 strokes held by Andy Bean in 1983. McIlroy became the sixth player to win the career Triple Crown, having won the U.S. Open in 2011 and the Open Championship in 2014. He joins an exclusive club that includes Tommy Armour, Walter Hagen, Arnold Palmer, Lee Trevino, and Tiger Woods. This topic connects to the HCC cause and consequence. Seeing McIlroy play influenced my family to grow and love the sport of golf and having a strong family bond over it. COVID 2020 was a scary time for my family. My mom was stuck in China near the site of the source of the epidemic, and it was scary for her as she had just attended a funeral for her dad, who also passed in COVID in early 2020 after contracting it in 2019. COVID also affected my dad's landscaping business quite a bit, as non-essential businesses were shut down. We had to go through many vaccinations and processes to ensure we were vaccinated, and we were isolated in our homes for quite a bit. In this picture, this shows my vaccination report after I had gotten vaccinated. The COVID pandemic originated in late 2019. The COVID virus is a special strand that originated from SARS coronavirus. The first case was in Wuhan, China, where it quickly spread to neighboring countries. The first reported case in Canada happened in January 25, 2020 in Toronto, and from there, the cases would continue to grow as a worldwide pandemic ensued. The total cases globally have amassed to over 700 million cases, with 78 million deaths. In Ontario, a total of 13,000 deaths have happened since 2022. In China, there are a total of 200,000 deaths caused by coronavirus since 2022. It is a devastating plague that has ensued millions of damages, mass panic, and ruined many families. This event connects to the HCC historical significance, as the pandemic was a rocky time in history for the world as being the next big pandemic comparable to the Spanish flu or the Black Plague. It is particularly important to us because it only happened a few years ago, yet we still see the influence it still has on us all around the world. It caused important changes in many families and people around the world. In 2019, I witnessed the Raptors winning the NBA championship. This win was so critical, everyone in Toronto and Canada celebrated the victory. I was at home watching the game and I couldn't believe that we won. I was so happy and enjoyed that we won the game. We were now major players in the sports world of basketball as we won a championship. I was proud of my country that we won and felt a sense of national pride that we, the only Canadian team in the NBA against other teams who were based in America, had won over teams that dominated the league years prior. Before the COVID pandemic, the Raptors had advanced to the finals after knocking out the Orlando Wizards, the Philadelphia Sixers, and the Western Milwaukee Bucks, respectively, to face off the Golden State Warriors, who had won the last two championships. The Raptors finally beat the Warriors and became champions, defrauding the Warriors. This picture was taken at Yonge Dundas Square, where thousands of fans packed the streets of Toronto to celebrate the NBA 2019 championship. Because we won, it cemented a legacy for the Raptors and for our country and proved that we were good enough to beat the best in the NBA. This topic connects to the HCC historical perspectives. From the viewpoint of fans, there were many fan reactions celebrating the championship for the Raptors, many crying, shouting with joy, with pride for the country, because it was the first time Canada had won any major sports league in a long time, not since the Blue Jays won the World Series or the Leafs have won the Stanley Cup. From the viewpoint of our team, the Raptors fell into tears celebrating after their first championship ever. Leonard was found crying and jumping during the celebration in the Warrior Stadium after they had won. These are my sources. I was glad to embark on an educational history project because it taught me that no matter how big or small